live. We're going live. We're live. We are live. Okay, hey guys, how you doing? Um, tonight's going to be probably a slight different, but it's going to be the same thing. We're going through the show. Some of the guys might be late. Some of the guys can't get on because of the what happened with the hurricane. Send prayers to them, and all that good stuff. But without further ado, hey, Motovipe.
Hey.
And further ado, I'm going to introduce the Prophet Director.
How's it going, humans? We are here tonight with a lot fewer people than we normally have. One of our panelists seems to be lost in the chat. Not sure why he hasn't come on with us. But due to the weather, which is not my fault, we are down a couple of panelists tonight, but we do already have their lists for their top 10 pictures of 1983. Sadly, we won't be able to get their opinions on the films when they pop up, but we do have their lists. And, it's safe to assume that they would recommend any of the films that they've chosen for you at home to watch in your own time. Last time we went on, we went ahead and said if you were interested, you could leave your top 10 list for the next year in the comments for the video. But no one did it, so we don't have anybody's top 10 lists to talk about today because nobody left a top 10 list in Curtis' comments.
Maybe next.
But if you'd like to, let your opinion be known about 1984, which will be next time, go ahead and leave those in the comments to this video after the stream is ended. I am the Prophet Director, and I am here to tell you about my worthless opinion on a bunch of movies from decades ago. With me is Sergeant Curtis Schultz and Moto Viper.
Hello.
And we're supposed to have M3 reviews as well.
But he's in the chat for some reason.
But for some reason, he's locked in the universe where everything is text instead of, in the universe up here with us where it's either still pictures or video. Either way, we can't see him. I don't know why. It's a choice he's making. We won't be able to hear him tell us about his movies, but we will ask him and then stand here quietly for a few seconds while we're assuming that he's answering it somewhere.
I think we said something that hurt his feelings.
Uh-oh.
I hope not. I didn't think that was possible.
Hey, shout out, Rob.
Yeah.
But so in the chat we've got Rob78 and apparently M3. Pop the Trunk. How's it going?
Pops, do you want to fill in? Rob78, you want to fill in? They'd be like,
Not sure what's going on with M3 at the moment.
Yeah. M3, are you going to jump on so we can do this?
But we're not going to, let that break us or anything.
M3's being
recorded. If it's just the three of us talking about films tonight, then so be it. Yes. Sometimes, Mother Nature comes through and
puts an
hits you with divorce papers, and the next thing you know, your clothes are all on the lawn, soaking wet. Your house is gone. Your children hate you. Hello, Doe and Daniel.
Hey, Doe, what's up?
Doe Studios.
Daniel Barry, what up? What's up again?
But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the images here.
All right. M3
we'll leave the thumbnail up for a little while.
M3
Well, we
just
give M3 a few more minutes to try and get in here with us. MC DJ, how are you, sir? The McDJ.
MCD.
Shout out.
Yeah, M3 has it. I just sent it to him again. So I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't know. He was being weird yesterday too. But anyway, the show must go on. So
that it must.
Oh, let me share this. I gotta share that, right?
There we go.
Yeah, so this is our thumbnail this week. I'm sure you've all seen it. You've all clicked on the video. Yeah, so just out of curiosity, those of you in the chat, do you think I went too far?
Maybe that's why M3's not on here.
Right? You didn't want to be associated?
Yeah.
Right. So Curtis, any fond memories of 1983 for you?
Oh,
all kinds of fond memories, man. That's when I was running the streets basically as like a 9-year-old with my friends. We were all over the place. We were going to Toys R Us. We were going to movie theaters. We were going to the public pools and shit. We were all over the place, like all over the area, like miles out from where we were supposed to be on our bikes. You know, it was great. It was a great summer. Even the winter was great. Even the spring was great, and the fall. It was great. It was just great.
Nice. Frank, how about you? Any fond memories specifically, 1983 specific?
Nothing really other than the normal 11-year-old boy stuff in the 80s. I think that was the first year I discovered a dirty magazine out in the middle of the desert. And all my friends like goo goo and gaga and act like we found a national treasure, an artifact or something.
Yeah.
Found one of those in summertime of 83 was the first time I went to one of those camps, the summer camps. That was all right.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. 1983. 83 was a good year, but yeah,
I was
mostly
10 years old in
10, more than I was 11, and it just being a 10-year-old front boy.
So 1983 for me, there were a couple significant landmarks in 1983 as far as my life was concerned. That was the year I built my very first tree house. A friend of mine and I built it, and I fell out of the tree house probably about 15 feet to the ground, landed flat on my back on a board, stood up, and the board was stuck to my back because there was a nail through it, and it was stuck. The nail was like stuck into my shoulder.
Oh shit!
So like, yeah, and it was funny because my friend who was building the house with the treehouse with me felt really terrible about it because before I had gone to step on the board that I was about to step on, I asked him, I'm like, you nailed the other side down, right? He's like, yes. And then I stepped on it and he had missed the branch. So the board like went straight up and I went straight down.
Oh shit.
Dang.
But yeah, it didn't even hurt. It didn't even hurt, because of the shock of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about pulling it out?
Well, I just had my friend just yank the board off.
It's weird how it like sucks and wants to pull it in.
And you know what's funny? I never went to the doctor, never got any shots, just cleaned it out with some peroxide,
And a Q-tip.
Yeah.
And totally survived, no problem. Rusty nail right into the shoulder, and it was not an issue.
Right.
Those were the 80s.
That's right.
We could do all that shit, and nobody cared. Nobody worried about us.
Yeah.
But so I remember that year for Halloween, I had dressed just in all black, and I took a plunger handle and spray painted it fluorescent green, and then put a bicycle grip on it, And I was Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi for Halloween that year.
Nice.
But the other very significant thing that happened in 1983 was the first action figure of me came out. You're welcome for that, world.
Yes. Okay, M3.
But let me take a look at the comments really quick. See if anyone
M3's got to be getting a blowjob or something.
Almost there.
He's like,
I think Rob says in answer to my question if I'd gone too far, he says no, absolutely not. Doe went toy hunting today, apparently. Found some stuff. But yeah, hopefully M3 gets here in a minute or two. Otherwise, we're gonna start flipping through this without him.
yeah. Waiting on you, M3. I know you hear us. Said you got it, and then that was like 5 minutes ago. Oh, what was us? I know M3 didn't get no hurricane. It's a
Again,
too much.
not my fault.
Yeah. Shout out to Bruce and Kaz and Ed and Digital Caveman and Queen Bee and all them out there and Destiny and all them. Hope you guys are doing better today than you were yesterday. Hope things are getting better.
Right, but just those people, Kaz, Bruce, Destiny, Big B,
right,
and DC, all the people we don't know, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah,
who cares? But those people that we know, God be with you, and
yeah,
we're praying for you.
Yes.
So obviously, I'm kidding. People, don't get mad.
Yes, yeah, we're kidding. We kid a lot.
I don't wish ill on anyone.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? You got the wrong thing on there, M3.
What up, bangers? Oh, shit.
What up, bangers?
Let me fix this.
Yeah, you got the wrong one on there.
Yeah, sadly, I don't have a Frank action figure, so I can't make one of these in the seats images.
You need to make a Frank action figure. What would be a good Frank action figure with a close head sculpt?
Oh, I know it. It's got to be fucking. Let's see.
Oh, man. Maybe we could take Drew McIntyre and turn him into Frank.
I don't know. Maybe we could take, just because the hair is similar, take the John Bernthal Punisher.
Yes.
Do a little bit of alteration.
Yeah. Maybe.
But anyways, M3, so glad you're here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so we're down a couple people tonight. But we're gonna go on and they'll be here with us in spirit. For the first movie on the list, this was a pick. This is one of my picks. No one else picked it, just me. Yellowbeard. And I'm kind of surprised because it seems like no one else has seen this except for Curtis, and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
It made me question whether or not we can be friends because this movie is fantastic. It's hilariously funny. But Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Eric Idle, basically all of the people from Monty Python. Then you got Marty Freeman and like all of Mel Brooks's people. And then on top of that, you got Cheech and Chong in there as well. And it's just hilarious. Like everything about it is funny from front to back. Graham Chapman as Yellowbeard is just priceless. And it's a pirate comedy, so what are you gonna do? But Curtis, you said you hated it. Why did you hate it?
Well, I didn't necessarily hate it, but it's just not. I just couldn't keep watching it. It was just, to me, it wasn't clicking with me for some reason. I understood some of the jokes and stuff, but like they just weren't clicking. Like Mighty Python's got great jokes and Cheech and Chong's got great, etc. But it just, I don't know. It just seemed like maybe the same stuff or something. I don't know. But that's
there was a lot of slapstick in it.
Yeah.
Joe Studio says he saw it and it was funny, cracked him up.
That's good.
Moto, have you seen Yellowbeard? And if so, what did you think? All right, M3, how about you?
Moto, you might be muted, bro. Sorry, but I never even saw it or heard of it.
Sorry.
Oh, all right. Moto, do you have an opinion on Yellowbeard?
Yeah. No, it's not gonna be all that great and grand later, but I do remember seeing the promos for it, whether it be at the theaters, inside the movie theaters, or if it was on cable in the background. It just did not grab my attention at all. I think that the comedy probably flew over my head.
Well, there you have it, folks. Sometimes, you're just alone in the world, and you thank God there's someone out there like Doe who gets your sense of humor.
Shout out Doe.
But since I'm the only one who picked this film, it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, this was one of Ed's picks, The Right Stuff. And now, sadly, Ed isn't with us right now due to inclement weather and a lack of power.
Still?
Yeah, for probably until October 5th, was it, Curtis?
Was that?
You said they'd be without power until October 5th, according to your sources?
Right there. Yep.
Right. But The Right Stuff, this was a pretty good movie. This was, basically
Race to the space.
It's really astronauts in training. Like, you get to see what it was like to be an astronaut back then.
Right.
Academy Award winner, I believe, for the year. But pretty good movie. M3, have you seen The Right Stuff?
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid. My dad brought it home. My mom and dad watched it. I've got nothing really to say about it, but if we're going to talk about astronaut training, Spies Like Us for me for the astronaut training. But yeah, this is not comedy at all, is it? The Right Stuff?
No.
Yeah. No. This is a drama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember it being a drama. Real quick. That's all I got. All
right, Moto, how about you?
Oh, I actually loved this movie as a kid. I thought it was really cool. Didn't pay much to the writing, to the whole plot, but like Mark M3 said, astronauts, space, I'm in. I liked it. Thought it was pretty good.
Nice. Curtis, anything on The Right Stuff?
Yeah, good movie. As a kid, though, I remember it seemed like a little bit too long of a movie, but it was good.
One of the scenes that sticks out most in my head is I believe the actor was John Glenn, or he was playing John Glenn, the astronaut.
Right.
What was it? David Carradine, maybe? Or no. Man, I can't remember the actor's name. Scott Glenn, maybe? I don't know. But they were doing the breath testing where they have to blow into the tube and keep the ball like in between the bubble, in the between the lines in the air.
Yes.
Right. All right.
And all the guys are like giving up, and the one guy thinks he's got it, and he quits, and he turns, and there's Scott Glenn just sitting there, just blowing in it like casually, like it's no problem.
Yeah.
Like great stuff. But unfortunately, Ed's not here to tell us what he loves about it. But clearly, Ed likes it enough to recommend it. So if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. It did win Best Picture, I believe. So,
Yeah.
but only picked by Ed, and therefore it just gets a rank of D. Next on the list, this was one of Curtis's picks, The Entity. Curtis, what have you got to say about The Entity?
The Entity, when I saw this back in 83, it was based off a true story. So, as a young kid, you're like, ooh, this is like supposed to be real. You're all into it then. And the scenes, man, some of the scenes were really, really done well. But what it was is this entity kept raping this mother. And then they even had a scene where she's on the bed and he's got her locked down, like her hands locked down and stuff. And then somehow you see like another set of hands come and like you see the fingertips squishing her boobs, which was really cool. I don't know how the hell they did that. But it had Barbara Hershey as the lead actress in it. And
Great.
it's not like the greatest movie ever or anything like that. It's just a good, decent movie to watch, like if you're bored on a rainy day or something.
Hey, Curtis, whose boobie was it? Was it Barbara Hershey's boobie?
Was that?
Whose boobie was it that got squeezed? Was it Barbara Hershey's?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
It was
Frank,
like-
does that mean you have not seen this?
No. If I have, I forgot about it.
All right, yeah, because sadly I haven't seen it either. Never seen a trailer. Like, can't really imagine anything about this one. M3, how about you? Have you seen The Entity?
I have not, but I heard it's a story so shocking, so threatening, it will frighten you beyond all imagination. That's all I got.
That's crazy, bro. I heard the same thing.
Nice reading.
Yeah, Those Studios says saw The Entity and it was creepy, man. Based on a true story with pulsating boobs.
Yeah.
And it followed her. Yeah, he's describing it just like I remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently, Curtis, you given an apt description.
Yeah.
And Curtis likes this film, so anyone else who digs Curtis's opinion, please go check out The Entity. But for this list, it's just a rank of D. Moving on, the next pick on the list, this was one of Digital Caveman's picks. He is also underwater at the moment. Terms of Endearment. Good movie. Can't really say it made much of an impression on me, really. I mean, a lot of good acting and good storytelling and everything, but it just wasn't my thing as a kid, and I haven't really revisited it. So,
hold on.
I don't really have much to say about it. So, Curtis, what do you have to say about Terms of Endearment?
Hey, can you go to M3 real quick?
M3, what do you have to say about Terms of Endearment?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I guarantee Digital Caveman only endorses it because it says Jack Nicholson. I don't think he remembers this movie. I don't think he's even seen it. And the 3 little X's down below, he's like, okay, I'm going to put that one in. Guaranteed. Sorry, Digital. I spoke for Digital. I've never seen it. Never even heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty critically acclaimed. Frank, what do you know anything about this movie?
As a 10-year-old, almost 11 in 83, absolutely not. This is not my kind of flick at all. But I can tell you that later on in life, I did see it, and it's such a damn good movie. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. The ending is a real tearjerker. Makes you love everybody in your family. And I highly recommend watching this movie. I'm sure I have a chance we've all seen this movie now in our lives. But 1983, nah, this movie's gay as shit.
All right.
Curtis, what about you, man?
Yeah, I've seen bits and parts of it. It's supposed to be really well written, and they won awards or whatever, or nominated for a lot of good awards. But like it wasn't for me as a kid, and I still haven't really watched it. So, but Ed's supposed to be trying to get on here right now.
That's good news to hear, man.
All right, hey, that would be great if we could get Ed on.
He said he was backstage, but he's not back there, so I resent him the link.
Nice.
He hasn't shown up yet.
Well, if he shows up, that's great. But yeah, sadly, Digital's not here. But I think Digital has pretty good taste. His endorsement's definitely worth checking it out. And like I said, I have seen it. It is a good movie. Just not good enough to make my list or anyone but Digital's, and therefore it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, we've got one of Frank's picks. Moto Frank picked Risky Business.
Yes. This movie's great. This movie sets it all off on a young entrepreneurial man who knows how to get what he wants. And there's a favorite scene sticks with me to this day with Rebecca De Mornay, and she is absolutely amazing in this movie. And
he is so fucking hot. Sorry.
And it's a scene that it's like a once a year thing that we have a bond together with. Ed, you there? You?
Yeah, he's in, but he's got a lot of back to do.
Yeah, whatever the other sound on in there is, you got to mute that, man.
Well, then, in the meantime, I'll just say Rebecca De Mornay, and I'll leave it at that. Next.
It's not letting me do
It won't let you. Okay.
What the fuck's going on?
All right.
Cool. I can't mute his mic. Why? Yeah, I was trying to mute your mic.
All right, cool.
I can't mute it.
Cool, man.
Having trouble.
Can
you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I could hear it. We could hear everything. We heard everything.
Oh, no, we lost him again.
Oh, shit.
All right. Frank, was there anything else you wanted to say about Risky Business?
No, I'm good, man. Let's pass it along.
All right. M3?
I've seen it only one time when I was younger. That's all I got to say, except for that's a little 928 Porsche right there. Probably a 1982 or 83. Just got to throw it. But yeah, I don't remember any of it except for the one scene that we all know where he comes in and says, "Da-da-na-na-na-na." That's it.
Curtis?
Yes, it's I like this movie. It's really, I thought it was really good, and I don't know if it's that or me just googly eye all over what's her name?
Tom Cruise?
Huh?
Tom Cruise?
No.
De Mornay.
Chat.
She's just so hot, man. She's just like, she was like,
oh my god,
blessed with looks. Like everything was perfect on her.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I really have to say. It's a good watch if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I think Risky Business is pretty iconic. It definitely sparked Tom Cruise's career, and you've seen where that's gone since then.
Yeah.
Put Bob Seger back on the radio.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly thinking how short-sighted the pimp character was at the end when he was selling him all his shit back on the truck.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, you realize that this is like a super rich white kid. He's gonna grow up and be a lawyer. Anyway you slice it, he's gonna be able to make your life miserable. Like, why would you fuck with him this way? Like, it doesn't make sense. Very short-sighted. But I remember De Mornay was very attractive in it for sure. His friends were completely useless in every single way. But he came away from it a better person in the end, I think, and definitely with a better career.
Oh, I got one thing quick to say. Bob Seger, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I mean that skit was so popular that our president's son did a skit of it on SNL.
Yeah.
Right. Ed seems to still be getting his shit together, so
Next.
we're gonna move on.
He's
Hey
working.
there.
He's
Can you hear me?
But Moto
yeah.
is the only one that picked risky business, so it gets a rank of D. There's a lot of D ranks this time, people.
D
A
nuts.
surprising number of D ranks. Next on the list, this is one of M3's picks. A homicidal car, Christine. M3, you want to talk to us about what you did with Christine in the tailpipe?
Yes. Actually, I opened the hood just to check it out. But no, anyway, this is a really good movie. I enjoyed it as a kid. My sisters and I watched it right about the time they were watching a lot of Grease. I swear we watched Grease 165 times. They would take the VCR tape out and put it right back in after rewinding it, play it over and over. Christine is just one of those ones where it happens to be in that era. I don't think I can identify the car. I forget what it is. It's not an Edsel for sure, but it's something. It's an oddball car. It's not a Chevy. It's not a Ford. It's nothing like that. But anyway, great movie, great storyline. She never dies, even at the end.
It was 58 Plymouth Fury.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a Fury.
great movie. I do
Yeah,
recommend it. I do recommend it if you're bored. It's just one of those nostalgic fucking flicks. I've got nothing special to say about it. I couldn't even tell you who the kid was that was in it. That was the main character.
Yeah, well, I'll say that the kid is one of the reasons. The main character is one of the main reasons why this movie didn't make my top 10. The scrawny little Weasley dude, just never really appealed to me. But I can guarantee you one thing: if they made a transformer of this car, M3 would buy it, then get online to Japan and find some silicone boobies for it.
Yes.
Curtis, what did you think of Christine?
Well, I think what it was M3 spent one night with it, stuck his eggplant in that tailpipe and then left off, and hell has no fury is a woman scorned, so she just went
Car porn.
But anyway, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good watch. I recommend it to watch. That's all I gotta say.
Right, perfect illustration of Stephen King's fear of heavy machinery.
Yep.
Moto Viper, anything to add?
Yeah, I liked the movie as a kid. Pros would be the watching the kid become obsessed and actually become part of the car. The cons would be the ending of the movie. I thought it was like typical Stephen fucking King, man. It's just shit's good. It's building up, and then it just flattens out like a damn 7-Up.
Hey, did the kid that played in that, was he the one that played in that Rodney Dangerfield movie?
I did want to say
he was Rodney's kid in Back to School.
Back to School.
Yeah.
He's also in one of the Friday the 13th movies as a victim.
Oh. All right, I'll be back in a minute, real quick. I got to go check on my dogs.
All right. Well, he's checking his dogs. We're gonna move on. Sadly, only one person picked this, so it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, is one of my picks. It's John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, Two of a Kind. This is a very goofy movie. It's Bruce would call it corny. Basically, the premise is God has lost all faith in humanity and is going to flood the earth again. But the angels are trying to convince him not to because he promised he wouldn't. And God tells him, let's pick two people out and get them both to make a selfless act for one another, and then I won't flood the earth. So John Travolta, he's this struggling inventor, He goes to rob a bank to get money to pay off some loan sharks. And Olivia Newton-John is the teller, and she gives him nothing but paper and steals the money for herself. So basically, unless these two can do a selfless act for each other, the whole world will come to an end. But they're both very, very pretty people, so everything's going to work out. But yeah, I absolutely, this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I definitely don't think it's better than a lot of the other movies on this list, but for me, it's a favorite, and so I picked it. Moto, have you ever seen this film?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that movie. Yeah, it was meh, as the kids call it nowadays. As a child, it's looks like a great movie poster. Looks like it's a Barberlawn school, college school for hairdressing and shit.
Right, like you'd see it in a salon window.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think I do remember when you said that was when you said the premise, it brought it back to me. Otherwise, I was going to say no. I've never seen this movie. I have. I've just forgotten.
Nice. M3, what about you? Have you ever seen this?
Shout out DFS. Go Studios.
I have not seen it yet, but it took a twist of fate to make them two of a kind. That's all I got.
That was terrible. You probably should have just said nothing. No, I'm sorry. I was harsh. Curtis, anything to add?
No, I do want to see this though. I haven't seen it, and I do want to see it. So
Yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. For me, it was. But at the end of the day, I've been alone on things before, and I'll be alone on this as well. It's fine. But that's why it's a rank of D. Next up, we got The Big Chill. This is one of Ed's picks. And Ed is still trying to get on. So we'll just go ahead and start with Curtis, and hopefully by the time we get to Ed, he'll be here.
Oh shit, The Big Chill. That's with John Travolta and all them, right?
No John Travolta.
What's The Big Chill? I don't even know.
Jeff Goldblum.
Pretty big cast.
It's
Yeah.
a great cast. I see now. It's a great cast. But I've never seen it, I don't think.
Who's the girl in the front?
That's from the girl from Breakfast Club and all those other ones.
Ali Sheedy.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy.
It's not
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy?
It's Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly.
Meg Taylor.
No way. Is that her for real?
Yes.
No.
You got Glenn Close, Kevin Kline, William Hurt, Jeff Goldblum. And then one that doesn't make it on the poster here is Kevin Costner, who was the corpse at the wake that they all meet back up for. Yeah, so Kevin Costner, he was just a corpse in a box in this film.
In a box.
Moto, have you seen this movie?
No, sir, I haven't. Unfortunately, I can't have anything to say about this movie. I'm sorry. I just never seen it.
It's all good. M3, what about you?
I've never seen it either. I think I might take a look at it because Jeff Goldblum. That'd be cool. But yeah, nope, never seen it.
I mean, it's got a pretty big cast. It's basically about a bunch of friends who have been apart from each other for a long time, but one of their friends dies, and that kind of brings them all back together. It's like the basic of it.
Huh.
Who dies?
Kevin Costner. Well, we established that. But anyways, Ed's still having trouble, so we're going to move on. And Ed's the only one that picked it, so it gets a rank of D. Next on the list is another one of Curtis's picks.
What are you talking about?
Strange Brew.
For all
Curtis.
your beer lovers,
Tell us all about Strange Brew.
it's a whole bunch of stupid Canadian comedy, which I love. It's got Rick Moranis and that I forgot the other guy's name, but he's in a few movies here and there. But they're from it's basically those people from
Dave Thomas is the other guy.
Dave Thomas, yeah. And they're from the Canadian SNL. What's that called? SCTV or something like that.
Second City.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's a little comedy, and they use a lot of phrases like "you hoser" and stuff like that, and they're just stupid, and they end up having to deal with this supervillain like kind of guy that's like a Dr. Evil or type or something.
Yeah, I mean it's Max von Sydow,
Yeah, and it's
Ming the Merciless.
yes, it is. And I don't know how to explain it. It's basically like they're trying to figure out and stop this guy from doing something. So it's a whole journey with them. They meet this girl and then they fight over, and then like Rick Moranis drinks like a billion gallons of beer and he turns into a fluffy. There
I
you
like
go.
the flying dog, dude. The flying
Yeah.
Rottweiler.
And then he has to pee.
Yeah, he turns into that,
It's stupid funny.
and then he unleashes it all to put out a fire.
Yes. So like it's stupid funny. It's a great, like, if you got nothing to do, just sit down and watch it. You'll get some chuckles and laughs out of it, I think. It's a fun film. That's all I gotta say.
Moto, how about you?
Hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. You gotta, it's one of those movies you could watch once a year.
Right.
To me, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
And you nailed the story, so there's not really to expand upon on that. Other than for the audience, for chat, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up review to check this movie out. You'll like it.
Hey, M3, did
Brian
you,
King, much like Rick Moranis, has to pee so bad he can taste it.
yeah. Hey, M3, real quick, M3, did you link your channel to this one?
No, I haven't for like the last 3 or 4 that we've done, or
Go
just because it's a lot of work trying to go back and forth, make sure everybody's like communicating. So I was like, it's okay,
Well, I
It's
can
all
see
good, man. It's not that big a deal.
right?
But have you seen Strange Brew?
I have not, but because you guys are liking it, that's cool. I might check it out.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure,
it's
brother.
I can attest that it is quite funny.
That's
yes.
cool.
Yes, it is.
And I mean, Max von Sydow is like one of the greatest of all time. So,
Yeah.
Huh.
but there were a lot of good things that came out this year. So Curtis was the only one that picked this, and therefore it gets a rank of D.
D's nuts.
Next on the list, it's one of Digital Caveman's picks. And he is the only one that picked this. And it is very unfortunate that Digital is not here, because I cannot imagine that anyone that is here is going to have anything good to say about this movie whatsoever.
It's got a cool poster.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's about as good as that it's going to get tonight, folks, for Crow. Curtis, can you tell us if there's anything else you enjoyed about this thing?
Trying to figure out how that weapon he has, that like boomerang type claw thing, worked.
Kuririn? What do they call him? Kuririn?
Didn't they have like a Cyclops in this?
Yeah, they could like see his own death and shit.
Yeah, he was kind of cool. I mean, if you haven't watched it, go for it. Try it at least once, I guess. Give it a shot.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, his freaking shuriken looks like 5 dildos glued together with Freddy Krueger blades attached.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to figure out how that thing even worked.
Like, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. This movie is terrible. I know Digital loves it, but I'm sorry, Digital. I got a dog on your movie, man. It's awful. Frank, do you have anything nice to say, or are you like me and just?
It's a great fantasy movie, and just keep that in your head. I mean, it's 1983 for crying out loud. And again, almost every week I'm picking a fantasy movie. This one just didn't make my top 10 for this year. But as a 10-year-old, I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was almost disco fantasy in a way, if that
Yeah.
makes any damn sense.
Yes, it makes.
That aspect of it, I didn't like it. It was too damn disco-y. It was, I don't know. But the
I
story,
felt
the
like it
plot,
didn't know
I
if it
actually
wanted to
thought
be
the
Star
weapon was
Wars or Lord of the
badass.
Rings.
And the movie, the writing is shit. The acting is shit. The evil guy, the whatever the hell his
Big
name
M.
was, he's pretty cool. And I don't think anybody will ever end up watching this movie because there's so many other options out there. But if you ever in a mood for a cheesy, laughy movie that you can smoke out to, I give it a thumbs up.
Astray's here. What up, Astray?
Yeah. How's it going, Astray? Brian King. Yeah, this movie, in my opinion, it doesn't know whether it wants to be Star Wars or Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
And it mashes them together in all the wrong places. And yeah, I'm sorry. M3, anything to say about Crow?
No, I remember seeing it over and over and over in the place where where you rent the movies from at the VHS. But I just looked at the front and I just walked along. It looks cool, but I'd never seen it.
Well, all right.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
That being the case, like I said, this was only voted for by DC. Sadly, he's not here to defend it. But, we'll condemn it to the depths of D with the rest of these one picks. Next up on the list is one of Moto's picks, Deathstalker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moto, why don't you tell us about Deathstalker? I've never even heard of this movie.
It's another glamorized fantasy type movie, but again, I was digging it. I mean, I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the show when you asked what everybody was doing 11 years old, 10 years old. That's when I was introduced to Dungeons and Dragons. So anything like this, any kind of movie like this, it was Little Frankie. He was all about it, man. And he's fighting an ogre there, damsel in distress. What's the video game that Curtis just got? Dragon's Lair that everybody likes.
Yeah.
You want to live Deathstalker? Play Dragon's Lair. It's another fantasy barbarian movie, and I'm gonna give it a thumbs up to death. This is definitely a smoke out and watch movie.
Nice. Curtis, have you seen this thing?
Yes, I saw it when I was young, and I seen it a couple times after that, and I've been looking at it for probably like 2 years on Tubi. I think it's Tubi or Tubi, whatever. Or maybe it's YouTube. It's on one of those channels you can watch it. It's not bad. It's decent. It's a pretty good movie. It's good to get some time. There you go. You can try it out. And it's definitely fantasy, so I think there's
now this makes me wonder how many criminals got away while John Watson wasn't there to help Holmes. M3, have you seen this thing?
I haven't, but I've heard of, or I've seen exactly what I've seen. I'm seeing it right there on the poster or whatever. But no, I haven't seen it. I'll check it out. I would like to say that I would like to check it out. It looks right up my alley. That's all I got.
Yeah, I make no promises, but for those of you in the chat looking for recommendations, Moto says check it out. But for now, it rests in D. Next on the list, we've got one of M3's picks, Cujo.
Ooh.
M3, purports to not be a furry, but then he picked Cujo. So tell us all about it, man.
This movie is classic. I'm gonna put this little tape thing on the camera. This movie's classic for me, and we when my mom brought it home and on the VHS, we watched it. Me and my sisters were like, "Holy shit!" It is it's not Stephen King. It's the guy that did The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock is I believe. Is that right?
No, it's Stephen King.
Is it Stephen King? Anyway,
The Birds was Hitchcock.
The Birds was Hitchcock. And this one right here.
But Cujo is Stephen King.
Okay. So this one right here, it's classic. The the woman, the kid, they're trapped in the car. It's hella hot. There's this rabid fucking dog, and it's just tormenting them. And they're just like, what do I do? And as a mom and a young kid, like the kid's like going through like heat deprivation, and he's all fucking like needs water, and she's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And honestly, I can't remember the exact end on how they escaped the dog. Does somebody come and help them out? I want to say like a sheriff or her husband. Somebody shows up, but
She kills it.
does she kill it? Yeah. Okay. So spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it in 39, 40 years. Yeah, but I just remember it being it got me, and I was thinking it was a pretty good movie, so it got my list. That's all I got.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie myself. It had my favorite 80s MILF, Dee Wallace.
Yes. I got her autograph.
But yeah, man, I remember watching this movie, and the one thing that I thought about it was, man, I would beat the shit out of that fucking dog. But you know, it's a woman and a small child trapped alone in a car, and it's like, you know, where are your feminist friends? You know, you don't need a man to come rescue you, right? Well, you know, in the end, she didn't. But tell me that wouldn't have been easier if there wasn't a dude there from the start. Like,
No
I
shit.
definitely would not have been trapped in a car because of a dog. But maybe I'm just being too macho. I don't know. Frank, what did you think of Cujo? Do you think you could have taken the dog?
Oh, absolutely. I already had ideas as a kid watching it, what I would do. And gosh, I hate to say this, but it's just Stephen King, something about him. Builds it up, builds it up, builds it up, and in the end, is just fucking flat. But I would still recommend watching it, but I wouldn't give it a thumbs up. And that dog could have been trapped in that car so easy. And it's just stupid. The first thing you do is open up one door. As soon as the dog comes coming in, you shut the other door, and you have the kid fucking shut the other door. I didn't understand that. So, yeah, it's good, guys. It's all right. I don't want to totally dog it, but Stephen King, dude, ugh, oy vey.
So Stephen King doesn't rub you the right way. Curtis,
No,
what
dude,
about you? How does
everything
Stephen
is
King rub you?
great until the end. It's like M. Night Shyamalan shit.
How does Stephen King rub you, Curtis?
Ooh, with his left hand.
He's got a lot of good stuff, I think. I know some of the endings, like he said, do kind of flatten out a little bit. But like this one, I enjoyed it. My first dog was a Saint Bernard, which is what this was. So I was a little upset with this movie. I was just like, man, no, you know. But that's what happens when a dog gets rabies. They go berserk. Any animal goes berserk.
Unless they're Dobermans, they don't need the rabies to turn on you.
Has anybody seen a raccoon rabies? Or a
Yes.
rabies raccoon?
Yes.
I see those once a year, twice a year. Those fuckers are crazy vicious.
Yeah, they're like fucking like.
Stay the fuck away.
All right, well, let's stay on the movies, guys. Let's not go tangent hunting.
No, this was a movie reference point in the case of rabies in animals and how it affects them. So
Yeah.
So we get inside the character of the dog, what he was feeling emotionally, trying to eat these people.
Well, on that note, I think we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cujo only got M3's vote, so it gets a rank of D. Like I said, a lot of D's this time, people.
Oh, look at that. He's got a second row.
Next is a pick that was only me. I'm the only one that picked this. Sean Connery's last Bond film, Never Say Never Again. Incidentally, this is not the only Bond film that came out this year, because Octopussy had also come out in '83.
Octopussy.
But Never Say Never Again was the first Bond film shot in America with an American director. It was Kim Basinger's first movie ever. She was the Bond girl in it.
Oh, wow.
And what's her name? I believe it's Barbara Carrera. She played Fatima Black. And there was this great scene where Fatima has Bond at gunpoint, and she makes him pen a testimonial that she was the greatest lover he'd ever had. Hilarious. And then, of course, he kills her with a pen missile. But this was the first Bond movie that I'd ever seen in the theater. So, and it was ironic because Roger Moore had been Bond for like almost a decade at that point. And Connery hadn't done it for a long time. But because I had never seen those Roger Moore Bond films at the theater, and this was the first one I saw at the show, I, get to seem older than I am by saying that Connery is my Bond. But yeah, I absolutely love this film, and no one else picked it. So, Curtis, why don't you love Never Say Never Again?
Well, that's a good movie. Sean Connery is my favorite Bond. Yeah, I remember a little bit of this movie. I need to watch it again, but I just, it's Bond. All he does is get laid and kill people. That's that's something.
Well, he does have a license for it.
Yes. That's all I gotta say.
Moto, anything to add on Never Say Never Again?
This movie is just another great Bond, and we were blessed this year with two Bonds. So it was good. I recommend it. I'll give it a thumbs up. It's James Bond, the gadgets, the women, that Fatima. I remember her very well. But yeah, good movie. When you're last, it's kind of hard to expand on what everybody else has said that's in your brain.
Right. M3, how many women have made you pen a testimonial about how good they were in bed at gunpoint?
4 fucking bitches. But I never seen this movie. Sean Connery was not my James Bond. He was a little bit older, so when I started coming on the scene, he just wasn't mine. So I have not seen this one. But here nor there. That's all I got.
Well, all right. And considering that I was the only one to pick this Bond film, looks like we got to move on and leave it in D.
How many's in D already?
13 so far.
Wow.
So far.
Yeah, there's more D's. There's a lot of D's this time.
A lot of
one picks. Next up, this was one of Ed's picks.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to think that maybe all that increment weather was the universe punishing Ed for putting this in the top 10. But Ed's not here to defend it. So, I was going to say I'll try to defend it, but I don't think I can. Curtis, how about you?
Well, I can defend it by saying they had Christopher Reeve in it and Richard Pryor. And that's about it.
Nice attempt, man. Nice attempt. you threw it up, but got nothing but air. Moto, how about you, man? Can you justify this film in any way, shape, or form?
I liked it. I liked it. It was fucking awesome. I like the not evil, but just a drunk, haggard Superman.
Yeah.
It was just one of those. It was 1983 cheesiness at its greatest, and it was Superman. And I know Richard Pryor steals the show, but and I'm glad he stole the show because he deserved it. Richard Pryor was the shit back then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was good. It was really good. Would you? Let me put you this way. Would you watch it at one point this year?
I saw it once and I'll never watch it again. It's
that bad for you. Huh? That bad for you? Nah.
I mean, in my opinion,
the junkyard scene was pretty damn cool.
In my opinion, it's Richard Pryor's least funny role. The only good scene in the whole film is where Superman fights Clark Kent, and how it starts when he's at the bar just being a prick and just using bar peanuts, like flicking bar peanuts to like explode liquor bottles on the back shelf.
Yeah, dude.
But that's like the only good scene in the whole thing. Like the
That's
main
the first
villain at
time I
the
ever
end,
saw a
like
bad superhero.
turns into like some fucking wire monster. Like it's ridiculous. M3 and any way to like make this make Ed's pick seem less like bad.
Ed, you could suck it.
Well,
All right. Well, I'll say in Ed's defense because Ed isn't here. Ed really loves Richard Pryor and he really loves Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is a nostalgia pick for him. I'm sure he recognizes that the quality of the film is not up to par. But he just loves both of those people, so Ed voted for it and gave it a rank of D. Next on the list, this is one of Curtis's picks. And honestly, this was kind of a difficult one for me to leave off of my list. Especially considering this poor woman got blown up in her bar in the Book of Boba Fett after not having aged in 40 years.
Yeah.
But Curtis, why don't you tell us about your Flashdance?
You just pretty much said, dude, she's hot. She is so hot, dude. It's a more of a kind of a serious movie, I guess. So some people might like it, some people might not, but she's just a girl trying to get into dancing and she meets this rich guy and basically at the end is she's auditioning for a dance and it's really good with the song and everything and what she is wearing during that, you're just like, oh my gosh. Good movie. I think it was really well written. I think it was well filmed.
Wasn't her day job? Wasn't she a construction worker?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yes, she was. Yeah, she did welding and stuff.
She already had the heart of a champion. She was on those skyscrapers. She was a welder.
Yeah,
and she was a badass, and she was bound determined to contend and keep performing. And no matter what anybody said, nobody was going to tell her that she couldn't get into dancing, that she couldn't do the as elegant as they didn't think she could do. And she just blows everybody out of the water.
Yeah.
Well, at least until she fucked with the syndicate and they blew up her bar. M3, what about you?
I've never seen it, but I'm glad to hear that it's the girl from Boba Fett because that is one beautiful Twi'lek.
Yeah, right? I mean, look, she looks exactly the same.
It's crazy.
She does. It's crazy. Look
How
at them
is she not
legs.
aged?
Look at them legs, man.
Like she must be eating a lot of children's adrenochrome. But anyways, Curtis is the only one that voted for this film, and therefore it gets a rank of D. What?
Oh, sorry, I touched myself. I'm sorry.
All right, for all of those that came in thinking this was a family show, I'd like to apologize.
I'm sorry.
But when I think about you.
So next on the list is another Curtis pick, because as per usual, Curtis picks more movies that no one else likes but him than anyone else. And we've got Dan Aykroyd in Dr. Detroit. Curtis, why don't you tell us about Dan Aykroyd as a pimp?
It wasn't his best thing, but it was kind of funny, and I liked it a little bit. As a kid, you're like laughing because it's adult sexual humor and stuff and all that, but it's in the title, Detroit. I couldn't help it. And that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, well, it was his pick, and that was all he had to say about it. So I'm just gonna add a little something on his behalf. He put this on his list and not National Lampoon's Vacation, people.
I know. I didn't see it. I swear.
No, your time is up. You said your piece. You said you were done. Moto, what have you got to say about Dr. Detroit?
This movie was made by cocaine for cocaine.
Yes. There you go.
This is
Yes,
a
it was.
cocaine era Hollywood movie at its peak. If you guys want to watch out, and it's cheesy. I'd say, let's say it has 20 good jokes, or let's just say the movie has 20 jokes throughout it. I'd say 10 of them are great. 10 of them are kind of meh.
Yeah,
But
Fran, what's
but
her
yeah,
name?
it was a made by cocaine for cocaine type of Hollywood movie.
You think?
Check it out. Just kick back, smoke, and check it out. It's going to be
Yeah,
a 50
Fran
50
Drescher.
coin
Is that
toss
who
on
you're
that one.
talking about, Curtis?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even realize that till like years later.
Nice. M3, anything to add about Dr. Detroit?
No, but I will say I like the chain on there. I like Dan Aykroyd. Never even heard of Dr. Detroit, but I'm going to use this second. I got to walk across to my son's house and go and plug something for him. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Thank you.
All right.
worries, man.
We'll hold our breath until you get back.
Roger.
So hurry up, or else you'll have 3 corpses here. Anyways, Curtis was the only one that picked Dr. Detroit. And if you want to see Dan Aykroyd in a leisure suit with a robot hand, go ahead and watch this film. But for us, it gets the rank of D. Next up on the list, I think this might be the very last one that's in the rank of D. Easy Money.
Yes.
Curtis, go ahead and tell us about Easy Money.
Easy Money. It's Rodney Dangerfield. It's about him, and I think he's in a debt to like some loan sharks or a gangster. I'm trying to remember. But I just remember laughing so hard at it all the time. So it's like one of those type of movies, you know, kind of it's his humor. So it's if you like his humor, you're gonna like it, I would think. There's some I don't even can't even remember the names of the people that are in it, but there's some people in it that are pretty good. And I just have to tell you, I know it's a long time. I don't want to spoil, but you just have to sit there and watch it. Oh yeah, Joe Pesci's in it. Yeah, and
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
yeah, she's the daughter.
Candy Azara, that's a porn star. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know
remember
he's
laughing at this movie. I mean, it's Rodney Dangerfield, so you're gonna laugh,
Yeah.
right?
respect.
But it was something about like he had to like spend a certain amount of money, but he couldn't spend it on certain things.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But at the end of the day, it's Rodney Dangerfield's self-deprecating humor with mobsters threatening his life hanging over it. And if you like Rodney Dangerfield, if Dr. Vinny Boombots has ever told you you got water on your knee, then go check out Easy Money. Frank, have you ever seen this?
Yeah, I saw this movie. Love this movie. It's great. And you're right. He's got to spend, in order to get 100 million, he's got to spend 30 million in 30 days and have nothing left. Nothing to show for it, all that stuff. And he can't let nobody know why as to what's going on either. So the accountants and lawyers are freaking out. Everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing, dude? You're gonna be pissed broke if you keep it up." So he can't let anybody know at the same time. So that makes it even more funnier. And with his witty comebacks and his shit and the situation he gets in, and Joe Pesci is fucking great in this movie. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a thumbs up, kick back, and enjoy this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I endorse it as well. M3.
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
You gotta see it, M3. You can find it for free too.
Yeah, if you like Rodney Dangerfield, you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Right on.
But Curtis was the only one that voted for it, so it gets a rank of D, even though it probably deserves much higher. Moving on, I believe this should be our first C rank film.
Oh, sweet.
picked by M3 and Moto. This is Fire and Ice.
Hell yeah.
Basically, Frank Frazetta's artwork brought to life through rotoscoping.
Mm-hmm.
M3, why don't you start us off on this one?
Yeah, Frank Frazetta. I've only learned that he was the one that did some art that I've known of in the past, and then to hear his name, and then you called the Roboscope for the however they do the movie with real people, and the artist draws their movements. You taught me that, Prophet, you told us that 2 weeks.
Yeah, rotoscoping is they film the action and then the artist draws over the film.
Yeah, and then I was all about this from the beginning. As soon as I watched Heavy Metal, and then this came up in my feed. I was like, oh, check that one out too. Perfect. I loved it. I love the storyline. It's great. Her, I couldn't really tell you too much about it. There's some fucking bad hobbits running after her, and she's got to fucking hide. And her lover ends up coming to save her and shit. And together they fucking figure out what to do. It's a really good movie. I recommend it for a cartoon.
You know, M3, something else that I might be able to recommend to you. Loose Collector, the company that made the Lady Death figure and the Hell Witch figures.
Yeah.
They made a figure of her that comes with the Panther.
Yeah, I saw that. Mark Cosplay has her, and she looks really good. Shout out Mark Cosplay. I passed
really
on her.
does.
I passed on her. I've got Hell Witch. But yeah, really good figures. Really good figures.
Nice. Moto, why don't you elaborate what you loved about Fire and Ice to us?
The animation, the rock and roll, the music, the heaviness, the hardcoreness of it. It was, some of the shit was more hardcore than what we were seeing in live action films, like from Deathstalker and the other one that I showed earlier. But yeah, loving Heavy Metal. M3 nails it, bro. This was next one up. And those titties are running. Oh my gosh! I mean, it's just, and you got to remember, you're 10. For me, I was 10 years old, so this was heaven.
Ralph Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, look at that movie poster. That's like a Conan cover.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll say this much about this film. I think that this is a much better representation of Ralph Bakshi's work, Ralph Bakshi's work, than any of those animated Lord of the Rings films.
Yes.
Like this is in my opinion much better. But that's just based on like how Ralph Bakshi approached it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not saying the story of Fire and Ice is better than Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying Bakshi put this together better than he did that.
This one was
Curtis,
very,
anything
very
to add
ominous.
on Fire and Ice?
I totally didn't like it. It was crap. It was a piece of shit. The animation sucked. Oh man, what else can I? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you guys. No, it was pretty good. I liked it. I actually saw this first before the other one. But yeah, it's a really cool movie. I suggest you guys watch it if you haven't, and if you like it, you'll probably watch it again anyway. That's all I got to say.
Nice. Yeah, definitely worth the watch, people. If you have never seen it, stop depriving yourselves. But it is the first one with 2 votes, so it gets a rank of C.
Bless you,
The
whoever.
next film with 2 votes was M3 and myself, the Twilight Zone movie. This movie, man, I fucking, as far as anthology films go, love this thing. The in-between shit with Dan Aykroyd and Albert Brooks. Like, such good stuff. Like, you want to see something really scary. The fact that you got John Lithgow playing the role that William Shatner played on the original series in the airplane, the Gremlin episode.
Yeah.
Like, man, fantastic. But my favorite story on this one is the omnipotent kid who can only be controlled by the super hot fucking school teacher lady.
Man, I hate that kid.
right? He like takes away his sister's mouth, like it just torments his family endlessly, like with his omnipotence. It's like, wow, what an evil little bastard.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's a good thing he's straight, because otherwise it would have took more than that hot teacher. Well, I guess it would have just needed to be a hot male teacher, but
Coach.
right, that kid's libido is the only thing that saved the planet in that episode.
Oh shit.
But yeah, the remake of the Gremlin episode with Lithgow was really awesome. You know, Albert Brooks and Aykroyd together, they were great, and in the small segments they were in. M3, why don't you tell us what you liked about the Twilight Zone movie?
100%, man. My sister had the heebie-jeebies after watching the fucking John Lithgow fucking the airplane with the demon on the fucking wing, tearing that shit apart, and it really got both of us. I got chills right now because I just remember specifically when John Lithgow's like panicking, he's like sweating, and nobody fucking sees it, but he's like, "It's out there, and the fucking demon's like, bam, right in the fucking window, and he's like, "Shit!" That fucking scared shit out of me. But the kid that you're talking about, 100%. Now, is that kid the same kid that was Gordy in Stand By Me?
Oh, Will.
No, I don't know. It wasn't.
Okay. Really, really great part of that. What was the third? There's three. It's a trilogy. So there's the demon on the wing, and then there's the kid that torments his family, and then what's the other one? In this movie, wasn't there three?
There were three.
The Crate, was it the Crate, or is that the original one?
The Crate is Creep Show.
Crate's Creep Show.
I think.
Yeah.
No, it
Anyway,
wasn't the Crate. What was it?
We could think about it, but it's just not hitting me right now. But and then the hey, want to see something really scary? Like
Kick the can, dude. Kick the can.
Kick the can. Yeah.
No, yeah, there you go.
It was the older people. No, I'm lost on that. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Great. I'm glad they put this out. Pretty cool.
You're traveling through
I
another
like it.
dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Next stop,
Curtis is
Frank's opinion on the Twilight Zone.
Great movie.
I said
Love
it's
the
not
gremlin.
Curtis'
When that
opinion.
gremlin smiles at him and waves at him. That was great.
Great.
The fun story of Kick the Can, that was a good one with Scatman Crothers. And yeah, the little asshole kid though, man. Yeah, that's the one that just kind of irks you, you know. He's just like, this little shit, you know.
Yeah, that woman was so hot though, man.
Oh, can I interrupt real quick? Remember the first time we saw Tasmanian Devil in real life? That motherfucker was creepy as fuck.
Oh
Yeah, the kid like made it come out of the TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now
Now,
it was all staring at the hot teacher.
Curtis, before I go to you, I wanted to just ask: Does anyone like on the panel or in the chat remember clearly the William Shatner version of the Gremlin episode? And did you like the Shatner version better or the Lithgow version better? Personally, I think the Lithgow version was better. I didn't think anyone could out-express William Shatner, but Lithgow does it pretty damn well. Curtis, what do you have to say about the Twilight Zone?
I agree with what you just said. It's a good movie. You guys pretty much hit every point about it. So, all I can do is suggest if you haven't watched it, give it a try. You know, and that's about it for me. So I pretty much agree with everything they said. So
now, have you seen the Shatner version?
The who?
The William Shatner version of the
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Of course, yeah.
And you like the Lithgow better as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, DFS likes the Shatner better. Frank, what about you? Shatner or Lithgow?
Lithgow. I didn't know about the Shatner version, and then so
It's
I
a
did
black.
watch it. Shatner version was cool and all, good to see where it originated from, but
Right.
still, him out on that wing, ripping that shit apart in the wind, looking at him and smiling. Best shit I ever saw at the time.
There's somebody
Love
out on the wing.
And I'm an M3. Should I assume that you have not seen the Shatner version?
No, don't. Thank you. But yeah, I have seen the Shatner version, and because I used to watch the original Twilight Zone, all of them, and I
Nice.
feel like the Lithgow version is better because the way they did the demon in Shatner is like this guy in a monkey suit, and
Yeah.
it just didn't break it for me. But Shatner did well. He did the same. So yeah, Lithgow.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
the Twilight Zone would come on late at night when then like was that Dark Shadows would come on after that or something, Dark Waters or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the themes going into the show, the introduction themes. Dude, those is what got me. The music. The music got me on those. Yeah.
This movie's a C. Anyways, after that, we've got one that's Ed and Moto's pick, The Outsiders.
Great movie.
Ed is not here to like say his piece on it, so Moto, why don't you tell us which of the Outsiders you think is the sexiest?
Which of the Outsiders I think? What?
No, I'm kidding. Just tell us about the movie, brother.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't hearing you too clearly. This movie obviously set back in the rockin', I'm gonna say late 50s, early 60s. Stay Gold, Pony Boy,
Soda pop.
tear jerker. It's a great bonding. It's a brotherhood. It's
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze was great in this movie. I mean, look at all those actors. I mean, you name it, everybody is in it. But it's a group of what the community considers a group of misfit kids, but they're not. They're good dudes. You know what I mean? They don't take shit from anybody because they're tired of being labeled all that stuff. So, but it comes to finds out, you know how it goes. It's one of those movies where the perceived bad guy is actually a good guy, and unfortunately, we lose the Karate Kid. But he saved children from a burning church.
Yep.
Or a school or whatever. Well, I thought it was great, man. It was
Curtis,
it was a brotherhood type of a movie. So that's how you and your friends would feel, you know.
Right.
Curtis, anything to add?
Yeah, it was it's a great movie. It's well done. I think at least. You got that whole group of actors that probably filmed that other movie that comes out the year after. Because they're all in that movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, they it starts off, they're just hanging out at a park, two of them, and they're greasers, right? And then the socialists show up and they start fucking around with them and they try to beat them up. And one of them pulls out, they're getting racked, right? So one pulls out a switchblade and stabs one of them or something like that. And they go on the run and they hide out for a while. Then they're on their way back, and Ralph Macchio is the one who did that. But there was a burning building or something, and he runs in and saves a bunch of kids. But it falls down and collapses on him, so he's all burnt and his back's broken and shit. Yeah, it's a little of a sad movie as well, but it's a really good movie. Very brotherhood like type stuff. Yeah, it's I love the names. I love the names, and it's great.
That is the mark of a good film, if it can pull your emotions out of you.
Right.
M3, have you ever seen The Outsiders?
I've seen. It's like that movie, The Bodyguard. My Bodyguard. My sisters used to watch that, and I got to watch that one. But they watched this one. I didn't watch it all the way through. And I'm looking at these guys for being the sexiest man on screen here. I'd have to go with shit, man. I don't know. I guess little Ralphie boy down there in the bottom left, and then the guy in the middle has got that. I think my sisters liked him the most. He was in another movie. He was in 16 Candles too, if I'm not right. Or anyway, and then Patrick Swayze.
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon, yeah, they like Matt Dillon's in a not 16 Candles. Yeah, 16 Candles.
Yeah, Matt Dillon was the hot guy for a while amongst young girls.
Yeah. Tom Cruise or Emilio Estevez, Ralph Macchio were never on posters in my sister's room. I want to say that.
What about Rob Lowe, man? Rob Lowe was a heartthrob.
Okay, so let me tell you this. Before I even started that, I was going to say, let me tell you who draws me to them first is that guy that has his head turned, because I didn't know who he was, but I've met a couple people who look like Rob Lowe, and I really like his character. And when he's in Dr. Evil, he's like fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe's dope, dude. That's great. Yeah, that's cool. But that's all I gotta say. Never seen.
He's
it.
another.
I think we can all agree that the least attractive one is Mean Muggin' Emilio Estevez.
He's a gangster. Look at him though.
No, but yeah, this movie was picked by two people, and therefore it gets a rank of C.
Could have easily been picked by
Next
Paul.
on the list, we've got Blue Thunder, picked by two people who neither of which are here. This was what was it? Craig T. Nelson or Roy Scheider?
Roy Schneider.
Yeah, in the futuristic helicopter movie.
Oh,
There were like so many of these, like the early '80s had a lot of like the amazing stealth military aircraft, with the Firefox, Blue Thunder,
Hell yeah.
Airwolf, all of these,
Cool shit.
But this was this year's version of that, and Ed and Digital picked it. And I remember liking it as a kid and wanting the toy for the helicopter. But beyond that, I don't really remember much about the plot or anything for it. Curtis, can you fill in any blanks here?
Well, basically, it's corrupted people in the police force, higher ups, that I don't know, working with some gangsters or something, some other type of corrupted group, and the pilot of this finds out everything, and then he just grabs that and goes to town and starts having a fight with these criminals, So that's all I can remember about it. And I know there was a TV show they busted out on that too, but I never got to watch. So that's all I gotta say. I suggest you watch it if you haven't. It's a pretty good movie, not bad. If you like A-Team and Airwolf and all that stuff, you'll probably like this. So that's all I gotta say.
Moto, anything to add?
Not really. I was hyped up for this movie. Went to the theaters, watched it, disappointed by it. I was actually not a fan of the movie. Not a fan of Roy Schneider. I think it was bad casting, maybe. But then again, I'm a 10-year-old kid. What the hell do I know? You know what I mean?
yeah.
But this one, I wouldn't waste it, guys. I wouldn't. I'd move on. There's a million other shit thing out there.
Oh, don't put that on kids, Frank. You just say you're a 10-year-old Frank.
Okay, 10-year-old Frank.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very appetizing. If people in the chat never eat a 10-year-old Frank, you're gonna get sick, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember giving this movie probably a little more credit than it deserved, just because Jaws was one of my favorite movies, and Roy Scheider was like, predominant in that. I made the same mistake with Sequest DSV, giving that more credit than it was due because of Roy Scheider. But M3, did you see this movie? Do you remember anything about it?
No, I've never seen it. I probably won't now that I heard Moto's fucking shit.
Dude, they had a Transformer that looked just like it, pretty much.
Did you hear that, Curtis? M3 values Moto's opinion over yours.
Yeah, fuck you, Kurt.
Oh
Wait, Kurt, you and Moto picked this?
no, I picked that
All right.
piece of shit.
No, this was the Ed and DC. But
Yeah,
Curtis
Ed
said
and
nice
DC.
things about it, while Frank said
Aw.
bad things, and you
Kurt-
only stuck to Frank's.
Kurt's just being nice, man. Sometimes if I don't
Kurt's a
waste my time,
sweetheart.
if I don't
Big
waste my
old
time,
cutie.
yeah, I'll
No,
listen.
I just said it was okay. I suggest if you haven't watched it, watch it, and you can
Yeah.
make your own opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the nicest thing any of us have said about it. I wish DC and Ed were here so they could tell us why they picked it, but they're not, so it gets a rank of C.
We'll see what happens when you pick shit movies. Now look at them.
Hey, can we take
next is a shit movie picked by M3 and Moto.
Yeah. It's so shitty.
Can we take a 5-minute break?
Shitty movie
to fill our drinks and use a bathroom or whatever?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a smoke break.
Sure. We'll just leave this gym shoe on the knife here for a little while, and
how about after we talk about this one? We'll do it after we talk about this one.
I'm fine with leaving the people in suspense.
Okay,
up to you, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right. Hey, I got a pot roast on, a big old pot roast up in that fucking shit, man.
Nice, that sounds good, man.
It smells so good in the house. Oh, it smells good.
Well, Curtis is gone anyways, and it's not his pick. It's actually the two of you. So since you guys aren't leaving, if you want to talk about it while he's doing his thing,
I want to talk about something real quick. Does anybody decorate their yards for Halloween anymore?
Yes.
Do you do
that's not what this show is.
Oh, you just want to keep rolling, Prophet?
Oh, you want to keep rolling with the show while Curtis does his thing?
It's fine. It's fine.
But when you do a break, it's better when it has the bars and it shows where we're at right now. We've done it.
Yeah.
So I get it. Oh, trust me, I'm sealing my lips because this movie.
This movie, I know.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. I was gonna go look at my pot roast, but I did that right when I got before I reset the timer on that shit. Man, I got a nice $16 chuck roast, and then seared it 5 minutes on each side in some olive oil or avocado oil, and then set it aside, and then did all the fucking in that same brothy put in a whole onion, diced or not diced, like just chopped onion, and then fucking tomato paste, and then fucking got a wood spoon, got all that shit, threw in some fucking red wine, condensed that down like 5 minutes, put a tiny bit of fucking au jus fucking flour in there, and then a tiny bit of flour in there, and then fucking more red wine, maybe a cup and a half total, and then beef stock. And then poured it into a fucking one of those black cauldron looking longer pans with the bubble lid. It's all metal. Throw that motherfucker on top in there, put the oven at 325 for 2 hours, pulled it out, and then set it up on the top of the oven and got carrots and fucking cut them the right way after peeling them. Potatoes, the small gold fucking potatoes, where you just cut them in half when they're small enough for a bite.
Yeah.
And then we'll put those in cold water for a little bit, remove a little bit of the starch if that helps, maybe. And then fucking drop them all in there and tied up probably about 8 sprigs at a time in a bunch, and just tied it up and threw it in there. And it fucking been sitting for an hour. Checked it. I got 1 more hour to go. It smells so fucking good in the house, dude. I touched the liquid. It's not thick as fuck, and it's not thin. It's like a nice gravy. It's gonna look good. Oh, and then I got those fucking fat noodles. I'm gonna make them when the time's right and leave them out of the pot, and then fucking set them down. They're gonna be like sauteed in butter, super moist after they're already fucking cooked or boiled, and then put them out, and then put that as the bed, and put the fucking pot roast up on top of that shit. And then I got potatoes. I'm gonna fucking do it the way where you get 2 chopsticks and put it down on the table and tape them so they don't move, and you get the potato and lay it inside.
Damn.
and you get the fucking knife and like do 1/16 inch slices. There's like 100 slices all the way down.
Ooh-wee.
So, yeah, and then you bake that. You put that in butter and garlic and fucking rosemary, whatever your taste wants. I'm not really
It's the wrong time to take a smoke break.
Oh, dude. Throw that in the pan for fucking. Oh, dude, but baste it with butter when you're done. Oh, so good, dude. That on the side of it, and I was thinking about doing stuffing. We got that stuffing, but I'm like, stuffing's fine. I think this will be a nice.
What is wrong with you? Seriously.
But
like, I mean, come on, man. We're in the middle of a show. We can't like just go walk away and have dinner.
Nice, baby. Take it to the
and
house.
now I'm all hungry, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Waiting for Kurt, man. Curtis, come on, let's get this show
Can we
going,
talk
man.
recipes? Gay.
Oh, dude. Yeah, this guy I watch, man, and I watch so many. Kurt or you should do a fucking show, dude. Like one day when you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a quick little cooking fucking short. We're making eggplant parmesan. Special for you, Andrew. Oh, that made me burp. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and in the sauce you put, his ingredients are good. It might deter you, but when I put my finger in it, tasted it, I was like, wow, that needed that because I've done it before and it didn't taste that good. I try and follow them to a T. Everything to a T, and I rewind or not rewind, but skip back, wait, pause. Like the whole time I'm cooking, I'm just like following instructions, dude. That menudo I made was fucking fire, Moto. First time ever making it.
Yeah.
Not the first time following instructions, right? Oh, she did good. She did good. Menudo is hard to do because you don't want that. I probably talked about it already, and it probably gross out Prophet because I'm not sure he's a fan of pig.
Oh, who cares what I think, anyways?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, what does it say? Dear Mom and Dad. Kurt, what the fuck are you doing, man? Pooping? He's pooping. Oh shit. I've been at sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks now, and I'm getting very scared. All the kids are fucking dying. I hope the mailman gets this, Mom. Help. Throws the bottle in the water, the cork on top. It's a lake, ain't going nowhere. Done. Oh my gosh. Curtis. Oh yeah, who directed it?
Robert Hiltzik.
Who won't be coming home? Wait, not me. That's Curtis. Hey, Moto texted him, "Get back, motherfucker." Oh shit. Do.
It doesn't feel good waiting on somebody, does it?
There he is.
I heard you from upstairs. Hey,
Nice.
Chris, what are you doing?
All right, M3, since you were the one who was most excited, why don't you start us on Sleepaway Camp?
All right, I'll be quick about it. I liked it, and I watched it today to get caught up. And I'm like, I knew the ending, right? My sisters watched it, and my sister Helena was like 4 years older than me, and when she saw the ending, she was like, "Ha ha," like that. Fucking shit. She's like, "I knew it." Fucking something. Like I knew it. Look at this. Blah blah blah. But during the middle and all the inner content, dude, I was telling my wife, I was like, "Hey, this movie it'd fly in California, but it wouldn't fly. This is not a movie where the guy's like, boss sees all the fucking young kids run across. He's like, yeah, the younger, the better. And the other guy's like, hey, you're too old. He's like, you're too old. And I'm like, babe. I was like, shit. They did a lot of those, but that's camp back in the 80s. My wife was like, yeah, that's like 1980s. Like nobody even thought about that shit. I'm like, yeah, it just was a thing to put on a fucking movie, right? So the whole time, and didn't show, there was no nudity at all. That was cool because I'm almost positive everybody on there was fucking under 18. Where typically movies they're all.
No, I think shower scene chick. I think she showed side boob.
Yeah, that one probably was. But so this movie, I don't know if I would recommend it because you'd be like, oh shit, but that's just
stupid.
My brain thinking about it. But the way that they died, the dude he ends up like he was gonna fucking do something to Herm and entrapped him to fucking pulling the fucking chair out and having a big old 6 foot tall of fucking boiling water for the corn because he was the cook fall on him. He was fucking burnt. Another dude, she fucking threw an arrow right through his motherfucking throat. She fucking drowned the kid, but the next day it looked like a snake was coming out of his mouth and shit. Fucking.
I know you said that there was no nudity in it at all, but I seem to remember like the most famous thing about this entire movie was a nude scene.
Was the end. Yeah, nudity at the end.
Oh man, that's what makes it the best.
And there's butt cheeks. There's like 10 dudes running. They're all like running in their fucking nothing, running in the water and jumping in and shit because they're gay.
All right, Moto, why don't you take it away from him?
Oh man, this movie's terrible. It's so damn terrible. It's going everywhere. It's going in every direction. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't even know the ending happens. The next thing you know, there's this wide open, hairy little fucking dude with a little winky dinky, and everybody's in shock. I have no clue. And roll credits. But you know what? The movie is fucking awesome to watch. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up and watch it because it's campy, cheesy 80s horror at its best because it makes no fucking sense.
Hey, right.
It is iconic, and it was like one of the first like double twists, right, with the ending.
No.
But I also have to say I really enjoyed the pedophile soup, right?
Yeah.
When you killed the cook dude, the pedophile cook guy with the pot of boiling soup.
Yeah, he didn't die, which is even better.
But Curtis, anything to add about Sleepaway Camp?
Meh. Is it meh?
Yeah.
So we waited all that time for you to come back and say meh.
Meh.
Well, I told you when I was leaving. I said that the movie sucked.
It's terrible.
Moving on. It's a C-rate movie with 2 picks.
I liked it. I liked the movie.
I love it.
Yeah.
Next movie on the list was also picked by 2, and thankfully one of them's here. Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris versus David Carradine. Kung Fu versus Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
Frank. Since you're the only one who picked it that's here, why don't you tell us all about it?
This is it's 1983, but it's a modern day Western. Chuck Norris plays obviously Lone Wolf McQuade. He works alone. He works best alone. Hence the term Lone Wolf. David Carradine plays a real son of a bitch in this movie. It's very dated for anybody interested in going back and checking this movie out. But it's I would say shit. No, I'm sorry, I couldn't recommend sitting down and watching it. But if you wanted to check it out, go ahead. But it's Chuck Norris against David Carradine. And I could tell you the story of the movie, but that would ruin it. This is kind of like on the fence for me. This one's kind of flip a coin, man. Flip a coin.
Nice.
I mean, it was in your top 10, so I would assume you recommended.
Oh yeah, I know. I loved it as a kid. It's just, it's not the greatest, well-produced fucking thing there is.
Why'd you pick it? What was your
because I love Chuck Norris, and my grandfather always watched Kung Fu, so that made me a Kung Fu fan. Hence David Carradine.
Yeah, I would say
I went to the theater with my grandpa to see this movie because he was, my grandfather was on that karate shit.
Spit it out.
I would say at the very least, watching 2 American martial arts icons fight is worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
Curtis, do you have anything to add about Lone Wolf McQuade?
I agree. What you just said, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I need to re-see that. I remember liking it as a kid, though. So that's all I really got to say is,
M3,
try it out.
anything on Lone Wolf McQuade?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, all right. Well, Lone Wolf McQuade got 2 picks. 2 people picked it, so it is a rank of C. Moving on, the next film on the list. This was also picked by only 2 people, myself and Curtis.
What is it?
And it is Something Wicked This Way Comes. Disney doing a horror film and killing it. Curtis, why don't you start us off here?
All week I've been trying to get the time to rewatch it because there's a lot of it I forgot about, but I remember watching it several times as a kid. And just like, you'd walk by and it's on and you just sit down and start watching it, It's a good movie. It's like spooky. That's all I gotta say about it. You gotta check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, I recently rewatched it as well, considering it was one of my picks.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say that it's one of my favorite horror movies ever. Jonathan Pryce as Mr. Dark as the devil, basically.
Right.
He's amazing in this role. Basically he runs a carnival that grants people their greatest wishes, but at a cost. And they wind up like part of his carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, there's a guy whose glory days were playing football in high school. But he had lost an arm and a leg in the war. So he wished to play football again, and the devil made him a little kid. So it's like, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
But Frank, have you seen this film at all?
No, I'm afraid I've never even heard of this movie.
Oh, wow. It's a Disney film.
Yeah,
I'll
this
be damned.
movie is fantastic. The music is great. The acting is great.
Yeah. I agree.
Amazing. M3,
I'll
what
check
about
it
you? Have you
out.
ever seen this film?
I've never seen it. No, never seen it.
All right. Well, I have to say, I highly recommend it. Of all the films that I picked, like the one that I would say probably most, of the obscure picks that I think you could pretty much anyone could watch it and they would definitely enjoy it is this. Just fantastic film. But only 2 people voted for it, so it gets a rank of C. Moving on, the next picture on the list was picked by 3 people, only one of which is here. So it all rests on the shoulders of M3 to talk about War Games.
War Games. Matthew Broderick was cool. Ali Sheedy was in this one with him. They just from the whole. We actually had a Vic 20. My dad brought it home and it was cool. So when I got to see this, I thought it was pretty neat. He ended up getting into and hacking the government system that they thought was pretty much unhackable, or at least their first trial of something like this. And they were like, a kid's doing it, and he's fucking in his house in fucking Ohio. I don't think it's Ohio, but I was like, pretty cool. And then he's like playing nuclear fucking war games and shit, and shit's about to get started. It's cool. I like it. I would watch it again if somebody said, let's watch it. I'd say, okay. That's all I got.
Moto, anything to add on War Games?
Yeah, it was it was pretty neat to see parts of Colorado Springs in the movie. That was cool. I liked it as a kid. I thought it was very interesting. Getting into the world of computers and stuff, but if you watch it now, you realize how fake it is. Like you do this, that, like how he was changing his grades and stuff. It didn't work like that. The old dial up, but overall, as a movie, The plot was pretty damn cool. And it came down to the wire. It was a nail biter, and it was amazing how they figured out how to beat the game, how to beat it. And I'll leave it at that. I would recommend it. I'd recommend to sit back and watch this movie.
Right. In the immortal words of Nancy Pelosi, tic-tac-toe, a winner. Curtis?
Good movie. I saw this at the movie theater. I went with my friend and his family to see it. We had a great time. It was well done. You guys pretty much covered already the majority of it. Just like the iconic saying, "Shall we play a game?" Yeah, thermonuclear war. He sets off the Russian nukes to come to the United States, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And the government brings them in and shit, and blah blah blah. Great movie, good movie to watch. I think it still stands up to this time. I mean, you got things are old, but it's still exciting enough to stand up to what's going on. That's all I gotta say.
The only thing I have to add is I would like to take and print these screens out on translucent water slide paper to make miniature computer screens.
Oh yeah.
For diodes. But this movie was picked by 3 people and therefore gets a rank of B. Next on the list is Scarface, also picked by 3 people, 2 of which are here. So M3 and Moto Viper picked this along with Digital Caveman. Moto, why don't you start us off on Scarface?
Cachino.
Let me tell you, man, this guy, he don't fucks around, okay? He does 2 things. This movie's great. It's classic. The chainsaw scene. I mean, we can go on and on and on. We've all seen this movie. I know we have. It had to make the list. It was just classic. I loved it. I freaking loved it, man. Okay? It was great. Watch it. Go fucking see it. You'll love it.
Yeah, he had
M3?
He had a cool little empire going. He got rich, a lot of cocaine. The one murder scene that stands out to me is the Cuban necktie dude hanging from a fucking helicopter as it flies over their little luncheon that they're having. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. Fucking is Gina Davis in this too, or just Michelle Pfeiffer? Yeah, Gina Davis is his sister. Yeah.
That was Gina Davis?
Yeah.
For real? Get the fuck out.
Well, now that you don't know, I might not know.
I'm gonna say no.
I never realized that.
No, she's not in the credits right there.
I thought she was more of a darker girl.
But his whole who doesn't want to be a Cuban drug lord that fucking,
started
has
from
all the
nothing.
money and fucking lives a life in the 80s, dude. Fuck yeah.
Well, to answer that question, I don't want to be a Cuban drug lord. And it's one of the reasons I don't really care for this movie. I watch I'm not saying it's a poorly made movie or even badly acted, but I saw a lot of kids in my neighborhood idolizing this jackass and wanting that life, and that's not something I would promote.
Yeah.
And since so many parents are bad parents that let their kids watch shit like this, I gotta give it a negative vote, but that's just me, and I know I'm alone in that. Everyone else loves this movie. It's iconic and all that, but I just don't like movies that glorify this shit. The shit should be feared, Anyways, Curtis.
Oh yeah.
La Cachino. That's all I got. No, I'm just kidding. It's I liked it. It was good. It had my attention as a 10-year-old or 9-year-old, whatever. I was glued to that stuff, man. Don't fuck with
Hell
Tony.
yeah.
Oh, don't talk to her. He'll fucking gut you. Tony Montana. But yeah, he had tigers and shit. And man, this is a pretty decent, good gangster movie. You know.
That was great. This was one of the classics.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Did you guys ever play the video game on Xbox?
No.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, my God, it's pretty much Grand Theft Auto was inspired by this damn movie.
Right. That's all.
Well, yeah, like I said, I knew I was going to be alone in my distaste for it, but that's all right, you know. But anyways, this was picked by 3, so it gets a rank of B.
B.
Next on the list, the first one that was picked by 4 people, 3 of
I
which
can't
are
believe
here. And I will say this: I know that Ed absolutely hates this movie.
Me too.
So, maybe it was Frank that hates this movie.
I can't stand that damn movie.
Well, anyways, like I said, there's somebody out there that hates it, and I couldn't disagree more. I love this movie. This was a Christmas staple for me growing up. The Bumpus Hounds coming in and ruining their meal. The bully kid next door. The leg lamp. Everything about the kid getting his tongue stuck to the pole. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it just it reminded me of Christmas as a child. You know what I mean? So that's why it's holds such a warm place for me in my heart. Curtis, what about you? You picked this as well, right? So
yeah, this is dear. It's very authentic for like how I grew up in Christmas. As a kid, it was great. Just it's so well done. I thought, and it had a lot of good moments in it, like a lot of funny moments. I got to go visit the actual house in Cleveland.
Oh, cool.
That they shot
That's
the
cool.
house at or whatever. Yeah. And right across from it is another house that's got like all kinds of high priced stuff you can buy from the movie. But yeah, it's a great Christmas movie. The thing that got me, the first commercial I saw, he was like, ho, 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 in the big ass boot of the Santa Claus, kicked him in the face and made him go down the slide. He's
you'll
like,
shoot your
"Oh!"
eye out, kid.
Yeah. You want a BB gun? You shoot your eye out. And then the whole tongue scene. Everybody comes in because the bell rang, and then they're like, "Where is so and so?" And everybody's quiet, like trying to act like they don't know what's going on.
Right? Well, because little kids, they just don't want to get in trouble, you know.
Right.
M3, what about you? You picked this as well, man. What did you think? What does this have fond annual playtime in your television at home?
Yeah, 100%. We watch it on Recycle on Christmas Day, the whole day. But Curtis, right when you said ho, 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 I just got done saying ho, ho in my head, right?
Oh,
and yeah, that scene, dude. I was like, fucking Curtis, man. If I kept my mouth shut, that's great. We were just like on the same fucking path. And then, but his little dreamologies that he has, Ralphie, what's wrong? He comes up, he's blind. I'm blind. Why? Who did such a horrible thing? It was so poisoning. Fucking. And then he would dream of the teacher just giving them the A+, 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 A+. Fucking awesome, dude. I love that whole movie. We do watch it. We watched it when we were kids.
I watch it with my mom every Christmas.
Yeah, I'd like to say almost
Thanksgiving
every single fucking year. If it wasn't almost, and there's a lot of years that went by, maybe one I missed, maybe.
Yeah, that's don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Oh, happy to get a fucking decoder ring.
Yeah, one of my favorite bits in this was the whole wife trying to break the leg lamp on quote unquote accident.
Yes.
Right.
She was so jealous.
Moto, why don't we let the one who doesn't like it spit a little hate here?
There's not I can say. I mean, this movie's just gay. It's dumb. It's terrible. There's not one damn thing I like about it.
Wow.
Don't waste your time. I swear to God, it's another cocaine movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right. If you want to listen to Frank, don't ever watch this thing.
Yeah, it sucks.
But if you
Well,
feel like
don't
the
waste
rest
your
of
time.
us,
Do something else with the hour and a half of your life.
just wait until December and it'll be on every single day. But yeah, that got 4 people's votes, so it gets a rank of A. Next on the list, Trading Places. Also 4 people picked this. This is Moto, myself, and Curtis, along with Ed, who isn't here. But Curtis, why don't you start us off on Trading Places?
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Okay. It's great Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd movie. They did it well. You got other people in there like Jamie Lee Curtis, shows her boobs. And then you got Jim Belushi in there. He's got little parts in it. And what it is, it's Dan Aykroyd is this rich stockbroker guy working for this giant stock firm, and they place a bet, and they switch him out. They throw him, make him like he was on drugs and stuff, and even get his butler in on it and everything. And they like he can't get into anything like his house or anything like that. And then they take up Eddie Murphy, who was on the street, and put him in there and run with him for a little bit, and then they figure it out, and then they join forces and blah blah blah. It's really hilarious. I like it. It's a Christmas movie for me. I watch it every year for Christmas. And that I'm just going to leave it at that because I know everybody else wants to talk about it. And I'm going to let like Prophet or whatever.
All right. There's a lot to like in this movie. Randolph and Mortimer,
Yes.
they are basically, to me, they're live action renditions of the 2 grumpy old men in the balcony on the Muppets.
Yes.
It does see it's kind of like, they had a head start on making corporate America the bad guys. For every movie that came out after this, with Randolph and Mortimer being willing to destroy someone's life over $1.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis shows her boobs again.
Yes.
The whole all that chaos on the train at the end of the film is really great. Very well thought out sequences there. Who doesn't love a good ape suit joke?
Yes.
Right. But anyways, M3, what do you have to say about Trading Places?
I've seen it the 1 or 2 times. It's pretty good, and I like the reference in Coming to America where Eddie Murphy gives him the fucking
Dolly.
Mortimer, we're back. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. I've seen it only 1 or 2 times as an adult. I didn't see it when I was a kid, and it's pretty good. I have no problem with it, but I can't remember anything specific. And the cast is great. But yeah, that's all I got.
Frank, anything to add on?
Tough to add, but good movie, very well done. Of course, Jamie Lee Curtis. That was my first time. That was amazing. The way that movie played out. There's nothing to add that you guys haven't said, but it's definitely a thumbs up, kick back, and watch this movie, guys. Enjoy this one because this one's a good one.
Yeah. What was your first time? I didn't
seeing Jamie Lee Curtis like that, full frontal, or not full frontal, but topless.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, this was back in the early 80s, man. SNL cast members could make good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, just a rank of A. But that's pretty damn good for this list. Next up, we got a movie that's a crime that it's not S ranked.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault.
But yeah, this is Ed and Digital both picked this, as well as myself and M3. M3, you want to get us started on Vacation?
Oh shit, man! From start to finish, man. This guy just wanted his family to fucking have fun, and I feel his pain, man. But all the interactions that he has throughout his trip are so fucking cool. To him falling asleep at the wheel, and everything always works out for him in the end. It's always like it happens, but and it's shitty, but boom, something happens, dude.
Right.
One of my favorite part when the cop pulled him over. I die, dude. That song that goes with that movie, iconic, great, all the way to the end. I fucking
Holiday Road.
Yeah. Even in number 2, 3, and 4, when they changed the kids, it didn't really matter to me. It was its own thing. I didn't have a problem with they didn't use Russ and fucking Russ and his sister. Great. That's all I gotta say. Great movie. Great movie.
I fucking love this movie. This is like one of the funniest films ever. You know, Chevy Chase like forcing John Candy to take them on all the rides at gunpoint.
Yes.
Like after that horrible trip, the cop being like so crushed by what they did to the poor dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking bitter old aunt that they were forced to take with them. Like, oh God, why? Why would she even want to go? Right? But yeah, man, this movie, man, Anthony Michael Hall playing the son.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Beverly D'Angelo was the mother, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Shower scene.
Yes.
Such a amazing movie. Funny as hell all the way through. It spawned one of the best comedy sequels ever in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing negative I can say about this movie. What about you, Frank? Can you say anything negative about it?
No, I can't. This movie's an all-time classic. It's very well done, start to finish. Hilarity, unmatched. Definitely a thumbs up. Great travel. And like M3 when he said, "I feel your pain," and yes, I feel your pain, Clark. I'm just trying to make everybody happy. Yeah, it was a good movie. Good movie. And you know what's crazy is I don't know about you guys, but I have an Uncle Eddie type of family member in my family.
Awesome. Oh man.
Nice. It's good that you liked it, even though you didn't pick it. How about you, Curtis? You didn't pick it either.
I love this movie. It's one of my favorites, and I didn't pick it because I just didn't see it on the list, or else I would have had it on there. But it's an iconic movie. It's yeah, Beverly D'Angelo as a kid and seeing her boobs, you're just like, oh, you know, and
Yep.
and you know the whole part going through St. Louis, that was funny. That poor station when he went through hell. And then you know, it was just a great movie. I'm trying to cover stuff that
Oh man.
already covered it.
Christy Brinkley, bro.
Oh,
The
Christy
one-liners.
Brinkley was in it, yeah, and the Ferrari and shit, and she kept
In the pool. Pool.
Pool with her panty and bra was like lingerie, like white that you could almost see through, like when she. Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
that was donated to the film crew by Victoria's Secret.
That's great.
Wow. Who's Victoria and what's her secret?
I have no idea, but yeah, this movie was amazing. It should have been S tier. It probably would have been S tier, you know, in Curtis's hindsight.
Yeah.
But at the time that we did this, it was not. Therefore, it gets a rank of A. I believe we're down to 2 films, guys.
Oh,
the first of which is the first one voted by 5 people, Mr. Mom. picked by everybody but M3.
What's
Terry Garr was so hot in this. Oh my god.
Terry Garr, absolute goddess. What's his name? Richard Moe as her boss. That
Yes.
yeah, hilarious. But honestly, Michael Keaton's interactions with the boys is really what sells this movie. It's this movie made Michael Keaton. And I remember like when Batman was coming out, everyone was like, "Really, Mr. Mom is Batman?"
Yeah. I was even
yes,
I was like,
yes, he is, and you'd be hard pressed to find someone to do it better.
yeah.
But yeah, this movie's great. I especially love the dream sequence
Yeah.
when she like leaves him for her boss.
Yeah.
Like hilarious. But Curtis, why don't you go ahead and go next?
Yeah, this movie, I saw, man, this was another great summer movie on cable that I watched. It was hilarious for me as a kid. And all my friends liked it, and the scene, like the wives of the neighborhood are like gawking at this guy. And like, they drag him to a male strip club. This shit was crazy. It's funny. It's great. It's a great movie. That's all I could say.
Yeah, it is kind of an insinuation that a man who doesn't work is a housewife, which I don't really agree with. But Frank, what have you got to say about Mr. Mom?
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it as a kid. Anytime it was on, I watched it. It was just a bit after bit funny. It was a great story.
Yeah.
M3, have you seen this film?
I've never seen it, but I know 100% of it, and I'm a full-fledged fan of Terry Garr.
Yeah, she is just very, very attractive.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, DC and Ed aren't here to talk about it. I'm sure they'd have lots of nice things to say. But since they're not, we'll move on. And this 5 out of 6 people liked it, making it an S-ranked movie. And the last film on here was the only film this year that made everybody's list. And I think it's pretty obvious what it is. It's 1983. We were all returning with the Jedi.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber.
So, yeah, Curtis, you're in the top panel and you have more Star Wars crap than the rest of us. Why don't you start us off on Return of the Jedi?
Great movie. A lot of people have that as their favorite. So a lot of people have Empire as their favorite. I don't know where.
I often wonder, why is Return of the Jedi a lot of people's favorite?
Yeah, the slave Leia princess. Of course, she was hot. And if you find that figure, pick it up. So, because they're not doing her no more in that, I guess. I'm surprised they haven't even figured out a way to take her out of the film like that. But anyway, it was great. It's after Empire Strikes Back. It starts off with, of course, C-3PO and R2-D2 in the desert, and then you see Luke fixing up his new lightsaber and shit, and then they go visit Jabba the Hutt to rescue Han Solo, and then they're going to get thrown in the Sarlacc pit, and they got a plan all set up, and Princess Leia kills Jabba, and Luke Skywalker, gets a bunch of bad guys. Han Solo accidentally bumps Boba Fett into the Sarlacc pit, which was that kind of stuff. But and then they go off and they get to a meeting, and they're going to the new Death Star that's being built, and they're going to Endor, and they meet the Ewoks and all that stuff. It's just I just like it. It's really good. It's a good film for me. I don't know if everybody's like that, but it's it's one of my favorite films. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I'm going to let everybody else, I know they want to put their parts of the movie in it. So
Yeah, the Return of the Jedi, it does a lot for the Star Wars fan base. It gave people many things to speculate for decades while there was no new Star Wars to talk of other than books.
right,
And the prequel trilogy would illustrate even more on how Luke's journey as a Jedi was very unconventional in the fact that he can use like dark side powers without even the slightest temptation. Like, for example, force choking the Gamorrean gods on his way into Jabba's palace.
right.
I do not like the special editions of, in particular, the music changes in the special editions. The original Jabba's palace music was better, and Nub Yub is light years ahead of the bullshit they replaced it with. Also, I don't like that they put Hayden Christensen in the place of David Proust. It makes no sense. Luke has never seen his father look like that and wouldn't even know who the hell that was.
Right.
So that was pretty dumb. But the space battle, one of the greatest of all time, just amazing space battle.
Yes. Yes.
They actually, George Lucas managed to make a bunch of teddy bears menacing. The speeder bike chase through the forest was
great.
like gripping. Like, the effects were so convincing in that. And all they did was walk through a forest with a Steadicam and sped up the film. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it was so effective. Great story, great villain arc for Vader. Emperor Palpatine, one of the best villains of all time. And Carrie Fisher in a metal bikini. Like, what could be better? Moto.
Wow, it's hard to follow up on that because there's not a whole lot to add. That pretty much sums it up. It was definitely the movie of the year for me at my age. Just loved it. I probably went and saw it maybe 6-7 times in the theater. It was just great because it was the last of them too, So
Yeah, it was basically the culmination of a decade.
Right. So yeah, it was definitely my number one of the year.
I really liked the Planet Hoth, but I really like it, which was in the previous movie. I like the indoors, all the indoor scenes, and out of this movie, everything you guys said, I agree with 100%. And the best thing for me out of it was the ATST. I had that. I wanted that as a kid. My mom bought it for me. I fucking got my thumb and put it on the back of that fucker and made the legs go. I set them up. It was great, man. I have one today, but it's not the. Anyway, I'd like to get. That's all I gotta say. I love the ATST. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, this movie. I will say one more thing about it. The best line in this movie is a follow-up to the best line in the last one, where the stormtroopers get the drop on Han.
Yes.
And Leia shows Han the gun, and Han goes, "I love you," and she goes, "I know."
Yeah.
It was just so good to see her get that one back on him,
Right.
But yeah. Obviously, this is S tier all the way. Nothing could tier higher than Star Wars at its prime. But yeah, that's all of that's everything for 1983. Only 2 movies reached the tier of S. So not adding a whole lot to our end of decade show. But Curtis, anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yes. Hopefully this Friday we have Halloween bangers. It'll be
Nice.
2 weeks from tonight. Will be 1984 for this show. If you want to put something in the chat, put it in there because this, maybe I'm hitting it. Maybe a prize or something if people start participate.
Yeah, but wait until the stream is over so that it's in the permanent chats, not in this live chat.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, just put your top 10 in the comments after the stream is done. If you want us to mention it and have Curtis potentially diddle something up for you.
Yes. But, it's a good group of movies. There's some movies in here I got to rewatch and some that I haven't even seen that I got to watch. I got written down here. So I'm going to be trying to do that again this next 2 weeks. But, sometimes you forget about it when you have time, but I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, I think Easy Money's my big rewatch here.
Yeah, Easy Money, Mr. Mom for me. I'm gonna watch that one that you picked, the John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John one.
Two of a Kind.
Two of a Kind. I'm gonna rewatch the Twilight Zone and Fire and Ice. So yeah, those are the
What
ones.
about you, Moto? Anything you on the list that sparked some interest in you? Something you'll rewatch or watch for the first time after this?
Oh yeah, no, it'll be Risky Business. That's usually once a year.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Christine seems to always come on once a year, and I'll watch it. I'm kind of over the Scarface. Watched it so much, Return of the Jedi, always when it's on like TNT, it's on playing in the background while we're doing stuff around the house or whatnot. And from time to time, I still watch Fire and Ice as I collect the comic book series.
Nice, but nothing that sparked any new interest in you, huh?
No, I think there's only one movie, The Big Chill, that I didn't see. Other than that, I've seen them all.
Oh yeah, The Big Chill.
Nice. M3, what about you, man? Has this made you want to see anything you hadn't seen before or revisit something you know?
No, not really, except for like Moto just said, Big Chill, and then Kurt said the John Travolta one, because I like both of them as a team together. But as far as that, and there's a couple others, but I just don't remember. And if I haven't seen them now, and I'm this old, I ain't gonna fucking watch any of these.
Well,
that would spark sparked a new interest, like the fucking Blue Thunder one. I'm not gonna watch that. And everything. I've seen a lot of them except for
replace your swear words with Smurf, please.
Smurf that first Smurf. I can't fuck that Smurf and shit. No, but thank you, Prophet, for doing your work and making the show come together, and thanks, Curtis, for hosting it, man. It's cool.
Yes, thanks, Prophet.
Yeah, I will say before we shut down, like of all the movies that I'm gonna personally want to rewatch, Easy Money's probably the best. But of all the movies on here, like the obscure ones, not the obvious ones like Jedi or Vacation. If you haven't seen Something Wicked This Way Comes, do yourself a favor and watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Disney horror.
Yeah. Back then
it's a masterpiece for sure.
They were dark.
Nice.
But yeah, that'll do it for the show this week, guys. Like I said, if you want us to mention your top 10 for 1984, put your top 10 for 1984 in the comments for this video after the stream ends. Everyone in the chat, thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
BFS, Brian King, Rob 78.
Yes.
Shout out everybody.
I know McDJ was here earlier. Those Studios. Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for giving us the views. Thanks for your comments. And hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks for 1984, and hopefully a couple of you will participate in the comments.
Stay classy, United States. Stay classy.
Penis.
All right, and that is where, in editing, I will cut the stream.
Cool.
Boom.